Hello, everyone. This is Kirti here, and I have experience of 15 plus years spanning across various domains as well as roles. Like I started my career from a WebSphere admin, and then I moved to more technical roles like as a designer, team lead, and then finally found my passion in the role of a Scrum Master. And I couldn't be more happier. So I would like to share a very interesting topic today and would like to thank Sunand for this because he brought this topic, which was also on the top of my mind from a lot many days. So uh, after going through so many roles, like what's next is the question which all of us keeps asking, right? So the topic for today is Scrum Master. Is it a career path without a future? Now, I'm sure there must be everybody who is having a thought in their mind somewhere in some point of the career that especially if you're newly joining now because there are a lot of opportunities already and there are a lot of it's not a skill which is going on rise, it's something which is almost at the saturation level. So the bigger question is, should you even pursue that, right? So there are so many people who think that, okay, I'll just do the certification and I'm done. I can be the Scrum Master, reading some interview questions, or I can just go and present it in the interviewer, and boom, we've landed the job. Uh, I would say cracking the job is not difficult, maybe because because I think there are so many good channels like CareersTalk where we get so much of learning. But actually, what matter is the true passion of a Scrum Master. If you have that, and the main game starts when you join the organization, and the expectation rises because there is no direct accountability as per with the Scrum Master, but then still you have to shine. Let's see what are the possible career options and how can you shine in that, right? Okay. So uh yeah, so everybody knows about Capital One, and there is a lot of turbulence happening in the IT industry. People are losing their jobs left, right, center, be it product owner, be it developers, be it Scrum Masters. And there are so many people who are saying that Agile is on a downfall. There will not be specific Scrum Master roles, Agile coaches roles available, to which I did some of my analysis, and uh, here are my findings. So 99% of the Scrum Masters or the Agile coaches do have a fear in their mind that their roles are not being, it's not as the same importance as it was a year ago. And there is a downfall which is happening in the number of positions, and it's fading away. Agile is fading away. To which I just put on Google Trends, what is the trend like? And if you can see here, the blue line, it's basically Agile. So you can see it's still on the top of their game. So I did for PMP, Kanban, PMI, Scrum. So everywhere I could see that Agile is the one and the next in line is Scrum. So it's in a very stable position as of now. But and if you even if you go and do a blank search on LinkedIn, I see there are lot of positions which are open. So even in my organization, I can see that there are a lot of positions open. There are situations where people are not getting calls for X and Y reasons, but the positions are there. Though the mode of the positions openings might have changed, there are some integrated opportunities out there. So let's find out how we can add value and how we can grab those opportunities. So Agile is not going anywhere as per current market demands is what we could finalize or analyze based on the data available, and also talking to the experts. But yes, the industry is dynamic, so let's find out. So before we even start, like I mentioned, there are various stages of a SM's role. So when we say SM, it's not necessarily they are just 3 years experience or 5 years experience, but at various level of their experience, the expectation changes and so is the responsibilities. So if a new Scrum Master is there, they would just be following the Scrum guide and just facilitating the ceremonies, in enabling the teams to collaborate better. That's the scope basically for a new Scrum Master. They just try and get along with that. When they become 3+, when as a SM, I also gained the experience, the required experience, more complex challenges when we're put forward, we could think of the bigger picture. We could also imply a lot of agile principles and practices which we could not earlier. Now coming to 10+, in which there are many people out here now, so they act as a mentor and a coach. So having your one-on-one with your teammates, giving them valuable, asking them valuable questions, which really opens the door for new thinking. So empowering them, motivating them, all that, this comes with experience. So and it's also at the organization level, where it's not just limited to your team, but you can think as an organization, which direction should we move on to. So this is like experience factors for the SMs, like how they can, in which age, which experience they can do which activity, right? So moving on, the role of a Scrum Master, like I mentioned, it's not just a Scrum Master role to facilitate meetings or to get, actually, to be very true, this is the first thing I rubbed it off my shoulder when I joined our team. We were just expecting the Scrum Master to please schedule a meeting. First thing I did was getting off my Zoom ID from the meetings. No, sorry, I'm not here to do the set up the meetings. It's the team. I am here to motivate the team, and I'm here to empower them so that they can think and action on themselves. I have 3 teams, 4 projects, and managing that, if I just take up scheduling meetings and writing MOMs and putting it back, definitely going to slow down my teams. So if we understand the real sense of the Scrum Master, the ultimate goal towards this is to become basically not needed. So that's the real sense of how a Scrum Master should be. But then how do we add value to the team without doing just the admin work, or just the just setting up the meetings and those kind of things, right? So so it's not just helping your teams write stories, or just helping your product owners in the backlog refinement, but it is basically what the future state should be, and how the product you envisage later on, like maybe 6 months later on, what is the most valuable thing to the customer? Is that person getting what they need? So as you can see on my slide, right, there are a lot of things which a Scrum Master does, and the learning never stops. They have to manage the team dynamics. It's and the best part it is that there is nobody reporting into you, so it's all influencing what you can do, right? So it becomes more and more critical, and it becomes more and more complicated, right? So moving on, let's see what value addition you can do as a Scrum Master without just doing the admin work, right? I've also heard that, okay, you have to play games, Scrum Master should arrange it. So if that is the case, then the Scrum Master definitely should engage the team in team building activities and creating better bonds so that they can be self-organized, empower them. But just if they are being limited to some specific kind of a thing, then definitely it's a red flag. And if you are working as a Scrum Master or as an Agile coach, I think it's what we should look out for, right? So value addition, how we can do it, I can just give an example, right? I just joined an organization, and it's a large organization, right? It's a complex structure. It's a very, very big bank. So when I joined it, I was given the responsibility of 2 teams, and the work itself was too much for me. But there was an attrition, and another Scrum Master left the organization. And within 2 weeks, I was given an opportunity, I would like to say, that would you like to step up for another team, which is on a different project, which is on a different domain, which is on different tech stack, everything was different. So nevertheless, I was like very in double minds whether I should be picking up or I should let it go because I will burn out. I knew it. But then um I I stood up and I took that additional responsibility. Within 4 months, I got an appreciation from the executive director of my um vertical. So that was really encouraging. And he was just very happy that how I could step up and also do justice to all the three teams. So in the moment where you step up and you take additional responsibility is a moment to shine. So I'm not saying that you ignore everything, but then that there was a lot of learning for me as well, because that team was working on newer tech stack. The older team was working on legacy product. There was a communication between the two teams which I could really act as a catalyst for that, right? So additional responsibilities means you see an opportunity and step up for it. It really helps in bringing new learnings. Definitely a lot of work, but that is good, right? That is what we crave for, work. So that is one thing. The second thing is acclimatize. So whether you are working in whichever domain, you are working in whichever tech stack, your teams are working in whichever product. So it's good to acclimatize, like never say never, and understand all the products which comes your way. So that really helps. And the tech stack as much as you can, right? It's not a mandate thing, but knowing things definitely helps us ask valid questions, which also helps teams to think better and act better, right? So acclimatize is something where you can adapt quickly to any new environment, correct? So that is one thing which I would like to emphasize on. Be the change agent. Now, what do you mean by that, right? So when I say be the change agent, means when you're doing the retros, especially, or when you're doing the program level retros, when you're seeing some of the teams struggling with, go help them out. Go engage your stakeholders in meaningful conversations where you can bring change, where you can act as a catalyst for bringing in change. Facilitate meetings between your stakeholders, your teams, and ask those questions which really helps and bring change. So even after retro, when there is an action item tracker which happens that, and we directly open it to the next retro, that's a red flag. If you want to bring the change, it has to be through us and with consistent effort, right? The next point is innovation. So innovation is something which is inevitable in today's complex environment, right? So so what I did was, as part of my retros, I did specific retros based on innovation itself. You won't believe there were 7 ideas which came, which was really, really important in just 45 minutes of time. So that's the power of facilitation, and that's the power of a scrum master who can bring innovation by just facilitating in the right way, right? So there was a maximum participation from our team in the innovation event which was happening for our organization. And with this, you can really create a branding for your team and for yourself as well, right? The personal branding as well as the team branding is your identity. So we should never shy away from doing that. So coming to my next point, which is branding. So even when you are at a place where you don't have a direct reportee and you don't have direct command and control, right? That is what Scrum Master role is for. But you can influence very well because that's your skill, and that's the power. You are the powerhouse of it, right? So it's important that nominate your teams in every possible forum for appreciation awards. Appreciate them in front of senior management, in front of stakeholders. Ensure that you create that identity of the team for which they are working so hard. So, and it's not responsibility of just the team leads or the tech leads. You are at an equal position where you can influence and foster that branding for your teams, correct? So it's very important that we do that, and we do that loud and clear, correct? Uh, the next one is lead by example. So let's say, suppose there was a opportunity in our organization where we had to do some certification on cloud, but it was not something which, uh, because scrum masters are at the are non-technical, and they are the last one to do the certification. It was not like that. In fact, 80% of the scrum masters did their certification first before even the development teams could complete it, right? So it's like lead by example. When you are saying join meetings on time, you first do it, right? So there are so many things when you coach your team and you mentor your team. It's important that you lead by example. And this is where I feel there are a lot of scrum masters who lack, because they think that their work is just for telling teams what to do and not doing all of it, which really diminishes the value of what a scrum master can bring into the table, right? So it's important that we do value additions rather than just holding the ceremonies. At the organization level, what you can do, let's say, suppose you want to start an initiative, talk to all stakeholders, take that initiative, go that extra mile, and lead that initiative from the front. Take help. I'm sure nobody would question if the intention is correct for product operating model, or um, for the change you want to bring in, be it in the delivery, be it in the culture, be it in the tools or processes we use. So it's very important. Like, let's say, suppose you are in a scrum team where your teams are doing well, but there are other teams in your engine where you feel that this is what this change, if they can bring, that will really help them. Have a one-on-one with their scrum master, tell them constructive feedback that this is what we are doing and it's working, why don't you try that? So that really helps them to take that extra mile, and I'm sure that your mailbox is going to be filled with appreciations. And that is what comes out when you are um, very, very serious about your role, and you really look forward to bring change. There's another very simple trick which I would like to share. Appreciate your team members, even especially the team members who are not in your team. But we, as much as we say that our team should be self-sufficient, there can be a DevOps engineer who is supporting your team to get that deployment done, right? There can be some UAT member who would be testing things for you at UAT. If you feel that they have gone extra mile, do appreciate, because your brand also gets created when you appreciate, because that email definitely floats through their management, and then your name also comes in that this person carries great attitude and never fails to appreciate. So these all things are simple things, but you can really add value to it, right? Uh, in the complex world, it is nevertheless to say that impact of AI is inevitable. So moving on to our next topic, which is impact of AI. And trust me, we have so many groups. Day in, day out, we get on our agile groups, day on, day out, we get messages that this software has come and it's going to eat up our jobs and all those things, right? But we have to understand one thing. What does AI mean? Can it ask questions? No, it can't. It is only the human intelligence which can ask questions till now. Until that is happening, AI can just do things for you. It's artificial intelligence, not human intelligence, right? So human aspect remains still crucial, though there are a lot of things, a lot of tools which are coming up, which can actually help the scrum masters to enhance their role, right? But they are unlikely to replace it. So let's say, suppose you're planning, their analytics can be done by them. So there are so many tools who can, they can just let you know where your agile maturity is. And it can give you all kind of data and all kind of analysis based on which you can coach and mentor your teams better. And AI cannot still influence you. It's just human brain which can influence people. It cannot make you self motivated. It cannot make you self organized. It can only help you do things which are repetitive in matter, which requires some analytics. So all these things AI can help you with. So like I mentioned in my slide as well, the aspect still remains crucial, because our core skills, the scrum masters, the agile coaches core skill is influencing, empowering teams, coaching, mentoring, which is still very much in the purview of human intelligence, right? So adaptive planning, automating routine tasks, predictive analytics, virtual assistants, etc., all can be done with the help of AI, and you will get more and more time to actually spend time observing your teams and guiding them on the right path. So it's the and not to say, right, it all requires cost. So chat gpt, if you've heard, was so famous at the just blink of an eye. There were like millions and millions of users in chat gpt, but you know that it's there are some articles where it's mentioned that the cost itself is too high and they might have to shut down very soon. So the trends would keep coming and going. What we need to focus is on our core values, our core skills. Let's see next what ray of hope we have, and what possibilities do we have beyond ceremonies, which is very much in favor of the scrum masters and the agile industry in totality, right? So as we saw the Google trends, right? The agile trend is still very, very consistent. It's not dropping. It's very consistent, right? And it's not just limited to software. So if we would have read the 2020 guide as well, it's more tech agnostic. It's non agnostic, basically. It's non-agnostic, right? So it's the HR, the marketing, the banking, the core banking, everywhere there is a requirement of scrum master. It's not just limited to software. So we need to understand that it's just not the software, but it's many other industries which are looking to implement agile, because they know they have achieved a lot compared to what they would have when there was no agile. So that's the need of the hour. There's more and more job opportunities which have come up for the remote work, and so does the communication channel is getting, more collaboration is needed, much more basically much more collaboration and communication and coordination is needed across all the members. So there the role of a scrum master becomes more and more important, correct? There are a lot of hybrid roles which are also coming up, like you would have read agile delivery manager. So that is not what ideally scrum master role would require, but then based on the need of the hour, they are coming up with hybrid roles, scrum master come tech lead. So I was doing one such role in my previous organization as well. But I would like to say that there are a lot of learnings which comes across with it, right? So ideally a developer come scrum master role is, I would say, worse than a scrum master handling multiple projects, because the unbiased factor would still remain. The thinking hat would not be of two-person, but one person who is managing multiple projects. So it's kind of a hybrid role which is coming now, where Scrum Master is responsible for the delivery and taking the things end to end. So there is a share of learning which happens along with that, and with the changing times, the like I said, we have to acclimatize to the new working culture and the new requirements. But we can still do those roles with agile core principles, right? Like empowering the teams, influencing the teams to take their own decisions. So we can do all of that along with the additional roles which are also coming in, correct? Now, many members, since it's their core value, right? it's coaching and leadership, which is basically the core principle of the Scrum Master or Agile Coach roles. So many people end up building out a career out of that, where they can actually coach and move to leadership positions. So there is a possibility of moving your career in that path as well. Since the agile is being implemented at all scales and all levels, the scale agile practice is also coming in too much demand, so it's good to hone your skills and practice it, right? There are a lot of I'm sorry, one second. There are a lot of soft skills also, um which is very much prevalent nowadays. So uh the core soft skills of the Scrum Master, basically influencing, empowering, motivating, learning. Uh, these are all leadership qualities, and the industry now needs new kind of leaders. So, based on your core skills, you can efficiently move to any other role of leadership, right? So there is a possibility to also grow in that direction. And the last and the most important one is adaptable mindset, because that will help us grow really fast in whichever direction we want our careers to be in, right? So having heard of so many possibilities and so many and understanding the market trends also based on data, but still, let's say suppose we wake up tomorrow and there is no role, like there is no role for agile coaches, scrum masters, agile is gone. So what next? What do you think we can do as an individual? So on this, I would like to say, we have been doing a role, we have been performing a role. The role is not us, right? So we have been um, doing the scrum master role, but we can use all those skills what we have discussed now and before to convert ourselves to a new role maybe, but the core skills would still remains the same, right? Which really helps us and opens up our career path, for so many things what you can see here on the slide, be it agile coach, product owner, product manager, delivery manager, agile consultant. If you're into tech side, you can definitely hone your technical skills and become a tech lead, a quality insurance lead, a child trainer. Many people I've known, they have quit their good paid salaries and become agile trainers because that's what their passion is. Um, with all your agile learnings, now we all know that there is a lot of emphasis on opening your own business nowadays. So with all those agile learnings, you can open your business, and not just in terms of PST or some training center, but definitely anything, any new business. Your agile is not limited to softwares. It can definitely help you grow in any of the businesses you would like to try on, right? There are so many agile leadership positions. There are specialization role, business analyst, and the let us know in the comment box if any of the career interests you and you would like to have a video on that, right? So in conclusion, I would like to repeat, we are doing a role and the role is not us, right? So agile leadership is dynamic, the role is relevant now, but there is a lot of change which is happening around the industry, and we need to be ready with an learning mindset to transform our career to any new direction. But the all the learnings which we have, the all the skills which we have already possessed as scrum masters or agile coaches, is really going to pay us off in any of the roles we transition to. So keep learning. Let's continuously develop our skills. Let's align with the changing demands of the agile practices and be not worried about the future. Thank you very much.